Hello again, Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, back for more Malifaux, this time Rail Workers. I'll basically just be doing one on camera effectively, doing bits and pieces of each. So, starting off, Tanned Skin 09044. I figured they're outside all day, they're gonna get tanned up. So, as with real workers of the Continental Railroad in the United States, a lot of these fellows are missing limbs from injuries sustained during their work. Unlike the real world, though, they have bionics to replace them, soulstone powers in this case, which were provided by Mei Feng as a means of ingratiating them to her, or other way around. I think I'm using the wrong words, but and this is also kind of why I was a little annoyed about Kang having a cyber limb, but having just basically a paint job, because this matches the aesthetic better. They're more than capable of doing it. They're more than capable of giving him a new sculpting, yet for some reason they just chose to say he's got a mechanical arm now and just recolored the original artwork a little bit. Just kind of expected more effort because a lot of other characters got new artwork, which seems to indicate new sculpts on the horizon. Okay, so that's the first one. We'll apply this color to the other two and move on a bit. Okay, Leather White 09062. And this model, and only this model, has some bandages on him. Sort of bandaged legs here. And I should mention this kit had several alternate parts for the bionic limbs. So I went with the ones I liked best, but yeah, that's something to be aware of. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a gamble and take Templar Blue 09056. You know, I think there's one more. Actually, I think there's one more bit of bandage here on this forearm, kind of going around the tool there. Okay, so now Templar Blue. Look at the damn pants. The focus thing is giving me grief again. I will fix it eventually. Okay. Apply to the rest and let that dry. Okay. Shield Brown 09161. Oh boy. There we go. This one is almost out. I do have a spare on hand for when I need it though. And again, I am using just enough water to thin the paint. So be very careful here and pick out the suspenders. Pretty much just a little line. Then the handle of the hammer here. Okay. And the wood detail on the base. Okay. Apply that to the others and move on. Alright. Fur brown. Let's see if I can get the camera to play nice on this segment. We'll try. I'm going to carefully get the straps on his sandals. You know, I just realized he's wearing socks. Okay. I can fix that, but I will finish the sandals first. So I'll just do this and then just go over it in the same white I put on the bandages, and that'll be fine. Okay. This big bag on his back, tool with his tools in it. Then get his belt here. A little closer to the tools in the bag. Alright. I'll fix his feet up off camera, apply that down to the rest, and move on. Okay. Old Bronze 09197. I'm going to start with the machinery aspect of their implants. Now this guy has a brace on his arm. And I'm not completely sure what this is supposed to be. I think it might be some kind of arc welder, which is a welder that uses electricity as opposed to combustible gas. But I guess as good as mine. It's ambiguous machinery is what it is. Okay, that actually looks pretty good, so I will apply that to the rest and move on in a bit. Alright, Ruddy Leather 091109. Getting the dirt here. Being careful around the feet. I'm hearing bad noises from my computer. Okay. Okay. Apply to the rest and move on. Okay. Tarnished Steel 09206. Just about done with base coats here. I'm using just enough water to thin the paint. Get the head of the pickaxe hanging out of its pack. Excuse me. And the drill bit here. And let's do this screw in the head of this. I think this is meant to be some kind of claw. Let's kind of get the inner workings here. Apply to the others, and then there's one or two more base coats. Then I can move on to shading. Okay, Rainy Gray 09038. This guy is the only one of these men who's got any hair. He's got a long braid on the back. So these rail crew are Chinese in appearance and is likely their actual nationality. And that'd be a reference to the sheer number of Chinese who worked on the Transcontinental Railroad in the United States. It was a good opportunity for a lot of them, so a lot of Chinese immigrants took their chances and worked on the railway to bring their families to the U.S. out of China. And unfortunately, the work was also incredibly dangerous with few, if any, safety precautions. So a lot of these laborers who helped build the Transcontinental Railroad unfortunately lost their lives. Okay, now, Sun Yellow 09008, I'm going to do some wiring here. In fact, I might do more than one color. But, yeah, bit of a history lesson. I believe these models are meant to represent the kind of desperate Chinese farmers who came to the U.S. looking for opportunity, although in this case they went to Malifaux. Alright, I'm just going to do one color on all the wires and call it good, I think. So we'll just do bright yellow for the cabling here. Yeah, I think this might be some kind of welder. I really do at this point. It's not like the instructions I was able to see actually said what was meant to be what. And you just gotta use your imagination sometimes. Alright, apply that to the rest where applicable, and that's gonna be base coats. When I come back, I'll be shading. Alright, Pure Black 09037. I'll start with his hair. Now, with particularly dark colors, you'll need 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint instead of the usual 1-to-1 ratio for shading. I am still very much playing around with my lighting, so doing that is helping, but it's still going to take a lot of work. Might have put too much in there. Oh, it's okay. Marigold yellow 09007. I'll get the wires. Okay. Apply that to the rest, move on when it's dry. Might have to do a little more shading on the hair though, but a little bit. Alright. Next, Ruddy Leather 09109. A little more than that. Again, a 1-to-1 mix of paint to water. Water to paint, whatever you want to call it there. Getting belts. And the big one here, well, I'll end with the basket because I've got his shoes I want to get before I do his socks. And I just dropped him. Oh boy. Let's get refocused here if I can. Alright. And I realized after I did it in the leather color, this is probably a wicker basket, but that's alright. I'm gonna roll with what I've got. Alright. Apply to the rest. And move on a bit. Alright. Next, Breonne Blue 09055. Which is running really low. I can feel paint in there. I know I've got enough left to do the job, and there we go. Perhaps the most frustrating thing about this focus problem I've been consistently having is how inconsistent it is. Some clips seem to be perfect, others seem to be nothing but flaws. I will get it figured out eventually because I'm going to keep trying until I get it right. I'm just going over the denim with this. There's a story, I don't know how true it is, that denim jean fabric was developed during the gold rushes in the United States to provide a durable material for workmen. Now, that's it for that one. Apply to the rest, let it dry, move on when I can. Okay. Linen white 09061. Get the bandages. Which is kind of messy around the, I'm going to consider that to be a clamp arm. I can't imagine what else this would be. Or maybe to be a little more accurate is the only thing that seems to make sense to me based on what it looks like, but just carefully go over the white here. Try to get it sucks. Alright, apply that to the rest and I can move on right away with the next color, I think. Alright. Woodstain Brown 09160. Being real careful up here first because we can get the suspenders. And the handle of the hammer. And I'm going to carefully fill in the wood here on the base. I envisioned these when I sculpted them as rail ties being installed. Alright, apply that to the others and move on. Alright, Blackened Steel 09205. Just being careful to brush it only on the area. Just being careful to brush it only on the areas I want. I'm having a little trouble talking right now. Okay. Apply to the rest and move on in a bit. Alright. Next, Aged Pewter 09196. Just about there. I'm going to start on this tool arm. I'm still not completely sure what it's supposed to be. I thought a welder, maybe it's a rivet gun. It should have a spear tip at the very end, but it's kind of ambiguous. In the end, I suppose it's just a ambiguous tool. Okay. So that's going to leave the skin tone and the dirt. And I think that's about it, so I'm almost there. Back in a minute. Okay. Tanned Shadow 09043. It's going to go in each for lack of a better word, segment here. It's a bit much right there. I don't want it to get all over the pants. Suspenders on this one, fortunately, provide me a very clean boundary to work with. Got a little bit of the flesh on the pants there, just blot it out a bit. Okay. I'll apply that to the other two, and I can move on right away to the last shade. Alright, last shade. Pure black again, 09037. Now with particularly dark colors again, you'll need 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint. Otherwise, you risk completely blotting out everything. Just going over the dirt. Going right up to the wood. Because I want that to get into that seam between the two. Helps sell the illusion that the wood is embedded into the ground. This basically is just a quick hand sculpting I did. And there we go. Apply that to the rest, let it dry completely, then I can start detailing and highlighting. Okay. Highlight and detail. Starting with matte white. Using just enough water to thin the paint. Just going to carefully fill in the eyes. And pure black 09037. The best angles for this, or for painting, are not, they're mutually exclusive from the best angles for filming. So this is part of how this is so awkward for me, but I'm just carefully dotting in pupils. Just a little dots, all needed. All it's needed. Okay. Now to highlight, tanned highlight 09045. I'm just going to go ahead and do all 3 of them on camera here. This doesn't take too long, as the paint dries very quickly in this step. And it dries quickly because no water is used at all. This is a dry brushing technique, so you can pick a brush. I'm going to take a ragged feathered one, something like this. No water, straight paint only, rub most of it out on a paper towel until it looks like there's next to nothing left. And lightly dust the area to be affected. Going against any raised areas. Refreshing the paint as needed, and you can even refresh it from what you rub off onto the paper towel for a bit. Because this dries so quickly, though, you only have a few seconds to correct any mistakes you might make, so just keep that in mind. I'm gonna have to do his hair as one of the last colors on him because it's going over his shirt. He has a particularly long arm, but I suppose it's just looks that way because his other one, his left, is actually shorter than it should be because of the prosthetic. And I just noticed this should be metal, actually. Okay, you know what? I'm going to touch that up. I'm going to take a little old bronze 09197. I'm going to keep working at it. So this happens sometimes. Sometimes you see something last minute. So I'm going to fix this real quick. This is an example of something you might not notice right away that you need to amend later. So he's actually got part of his ribs replaced with metal. And I can still keep working, so I'm going to take Ghost White 09063 next, I think. Yeah, I can work with this. And that should be enough to work with. So this is how you can fix mistakes quickly. This will also be an example of how in real time things can dry. I should also mention I did some touch-up work on his basket and added a little bit of pure black, or matte, yeah, pure black as a wash in to just get some depth because it's basically a flat plane there. Okay. Yeah. So now Pewter 09196. Come on, focus. Alright, good enough. Just need a tiny dot since it's only a tiny spot that needs this. Thin it out a bit and then apply. And then Ashen Blue 09057. While that dries up. It's hot and it's dry out today. Humidity and temperature has a strong impact on how quickly or slowly your paints are going to dry. So lower humidity and higher temperature will result in a quicker dry time. Going against these wrinkles so they catch the paint. Refreshing as needed. I just realized I've been blocking off a significant amount of light that's going to affect things in a negative way. I just got to watch that. I'm focusing on the most readily visible areas. And I'm not even touching the areas that are meant to be in shadow, like the cloth between the legs there. Clean that a little more thoroughly. Next I want to do burnt orange is 09111. About 50 frames so far, but that's not too bad for length, though. If I can keep it down as much as I can, that would be ideal. I realize I said that in just about the most backwards way possible. So right here, I'm just getting the sort of kilt here, minimal attention to the shoes. Only leather on him is his one boot. And that metal is almost dry already, thanks to the heat. Still don't want to get it quite yet, though. A little more straight paint here to cover up that steel. Let's do some wires next. So lemon yellow 09009. That's starting to fight me again, but I'm going to keep pushing. And here, some pretty obvious ones. And the hammer guy here has a slightly less obvious one, just on the back of his leg. Okay. Driftwood brown 09162, I think. Quick dose on the suspenders. Bulk that's going to be on the handle of his sledgehammer. And the wood planks on the base. And here the wood on the base. And the handles of the tool sticking out of his bag. And here again, tool handle, the hat, which when you think about it, a conical hat like that is actually a very practical design for keeping rain off you. I'll do that one last. Okay. Yep, that's where I am. Tarnished brass 09198. Gonna shine up the prosthetic arm here. It's tank. And the leg here, making sure I shine up the stump where the bandages are. And here, a bit on the ribs, the clamp and the drill. So now that I've seen the plate where some of his ribs should be, skin should be, all I can say is this guy really got nailed. True Silver 09207, but again, the work on the railways in the 1800s through the early 20th century was incredibly dangerous, and with no appreciable safety concerns taken, not until much later on in the 1800s. And shine up some steel here. All he's got is the head to his hammer. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Fur brown. Just stuck. Just a real light dusting on the ground here to scenic bases are fine and great, but the base shouldn't be the focus of attention either. The model standing on it should be. Just something to keep in mind. And Pure Black 09037. This is the last highlight. And I'm going to also need it for something else. I just need to dig out the finest brush I have left. This will work. Just topping off his hair. And now I'm going to switch to a flat head. Most of what I use around. And using just enough water to thin that paint out, the same pure black. Just going to line the edge of the base. I'm trying not to nick the sculpting I did. Okay, apply that to the rest, and there's one step left to do. One step left. Alright, everything's dried up. Last step is to number the backs of the bases, matte white. Using the same amount of water as a base coat, just enough to thin the paint. And in the order I like the sculpts best. Just a quick Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3. So I can 1. And that's what I can just write this number on the reference card. 2. And helps in keeping straight who's taking what damage. And a quick little 3 here. There we go. rail crew from Malifaux. Well, continuing with Malifaux and switching factions. Until next time, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.